listening to Dante's Boxing Nation from Australia.
There it is,
Andre
man.
Ward all day, baby.
Andre Ward all day.
Money team.
And he geared up. He got the TMT and the Andre Ward fight. So you came all the way from Australia?
I come from Australia, man.
Just to watch the fight?
Yeah, just to watch the fight. About 25 hours of travel.
Interesting. So this fight is bigger than some fans think, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah?
Big fight. But Andre too sharp on the inside.
Too sharp on the inside.
Kovalev, it'll take away his power.
And that's how it's going to play out, you believe?
That's how I reckon it'll play out. Andre's going to rough it up on the inside, man.
All right. And the winner of this fight is undisputed pound for pound, you believe?
Yeah, man. Who's the Dana Stevenson? No one knows him.
Paulie Malignaggi, we're at the Kovalev Ward, looking dapper. So you call the fights. What do you think about this fight since you're not going to be calling this particular one?
I am calling it with Sky, actually, Sky Sports.
Oh, you are calling it?
Okay. But I think it's a good fight, good style matchup. I think Andre has a little bit more completeness to his style. He's a little bit more fluid. But I think Sergey's no dummy as far as his style. He's not just a puncher. He's a guy who can track you down and set his traps as well. And he's got the heavier hands. So it's a good clash of styles, and it's very, very hard to pick a winner.
And as far as the American champion, do you think they get the respect? You said that Latin fighters in the U.S. usually get more respect than foreign fighters. Why do you feel that way?
Well, there's a lot of Latin fighters in the U.S., and the Latin culture is very much into combat sports. The Latin culture is very much into boxing specifically. So I think being that there's a heavy Latin culture in the U.S., as a matter of fact, probably in the next 30 years there probably will be more Latins than maybe anybody else in this country. So the culture slowly dictates towards combat sports in that culture. So they're gonna all get behind their fighters, while the rest of regular Americans, so to speak, they are non-Latin Americans, non-Latino Americans, so to speak. They don't, they're not, first of all, they're not as emotional as people. I think Latin people are very emotional, very vociferous in general. It's just a genetic thing, which is a good thing when you're a fan, But they're also, they don't get behind as much behind their people as the Latinos do behind their people. The rest of the white people or even black people, they don't get behind as much. Latinos won't pay their rent sometimes to come to the fights, bro. When I phoned Miguel Cotto, I'm like, yo, bro, how is so many of these people in this arena? It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, is anybody gonna cheer for me in this place? I'm from New York. like everybody, they just show up, man. They show up no matter what. They come into the fight, and they're great fans. And so it's the culture, really. It's the culture. It's easier to become a star if you can drive behind that Latino community. And of course, if you're Latino, because they may be a fan of you if you're not Latino. Because they might like your style, like Golovkin, for example. They might like his style. They might be fans of his and the way he fights. But at day's end, bro, there's a special kind of love between Latino to Latinos, And I'm saying that from what I've seen, because I'm not Latino myself, but I'm saying that from what I've seen, and I see that bond.
Paulie, do you believe that the inside game is going to dictate this fight? Because we never really seen Kovalev ever fight on the inside. Is he going to be comfortable? We know Ward is comfortable.
Yeah, it's weird because usually, you look at a guy as strong as Kovalev, and you figure guys just want to run away from him. You know what I'm saying? And he wants to get to them. But in reality, a lot of the power he's shown is extended power. Where he's extending the big right hand, or he's catching you from the outside. We never seen anybody really with the guts, I guess, even to try to be on the inside a lot with him and try to trouble him and bully him around. One thing you got to understand about Eastern Europeans, they always come forward guys. They like to dictate the fight mentally and physically. What happens when you back them up? Some fighters can't fight going backwards. Some good fighters can't fight going backwards. I don't know, like guys like Julio Cesar Chavez couldn't fight going backwards. You know what I'm saying? So what happens if you back up the monster in Sergey Kovalev and people say, oh, does Andre Ward hit hard enough? It's not about hitting hard enough. See, guys don't just back up because you hit hard enough. Guys also back up when they're confused. Guys back up when you bully them. See, bullying and punching power is two different things. Andre Ward knows how to be a bully in the ring. Andre Ward has a lot of self-belief in the ring. So, I think both these guys have a lot of self-belief in reality. But I don't see Ward really questioning himself if he needs to come forward and take the fight to the trenches and really, start using those elbows in that head and whatnot, I learned a long time ago, man, if you know how to bend the rules and get away with it, then you do it.
Paulie, you're a technical fighter. Andre Ward's a technical fighter. Most people look at Kovalev and just figure he's just a puncher. What is it from a technical standpoint Andre Ward would have to watch out for when it comes to Kovalev?
I think Kovalev, people look at him as a non-technical fighter because they're so enamored with his power, and maybe because he's a little bit robotic. He's a technical fighter, but a lot of the Eastern Europeans, they're so technical that they're almost robotic. They're almost computer programmed. Like, this is what you do and this is what you don't do, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of room for creativity in their style and the way they're taught even. You know what I'm saying? There's what you do, there's what you don't do, and you buried in their mind. And you notice a lot of that. They're tacticians, but robotic tacticians. You know, they're almost like real robots. You know, you just can't destroy them. You know, they just keep coming at you behind those tactics and until they wear you out. From a tactical perspective, you know, he knows how to set those traps as well. So that's what I'm saying. He's not like a Maidana who's going to just try to physically wear you out. Sergey Kovalev may be lesser than Ward on the technical side, but he's technical enough to where he can start to, you know, set these traps and maybe clip Andre off. You know what I'm saying? And again, this is a guy who hits hard enough to where he doesn't even have to hit you clean for him to get your attention or even drop you. But even if he doesn't drop you or hit you, as long as he's hitting you clean enough, it doesn't have to be that clean, and he's getting your attention, and in your mind you're like, man, that was heavy. Already, you're starting to think, man, what happens if this guy lands clean? I'm in here for 12 rounds, and I landed partially. I don't like the way that felt, you know? So there's a lot of mind games in there, man. A fight is physical, but it's also mental. And so how does that play on Andre Ward's head when that happens, you know? Or how does Andre Ward suddenly not running, becoming being a bully to Kovalev? How does that play on Kovalev's head? You know what I mean? Also, you know, they say they're worried about Andre Ward being dirty. Okay, well, what if Andre Ward starts being dirty and the refs letting him fight? Because most refs, let's face it, at this level, they should give him a ticket, sit in the front row, because they don't do anything anyway. You know what I mean? So how many times I've looked at the referee and clinch? I don't even complain anymore. I just get buttered. I look at the ref like, nah, you're not gonna take care of that one. All right, fuck it. Well, I guess I'm gonna take that butt right in the mouth. So, you know, it's like, you know, it's one of those things where, okay, well, what if that's happening and you got to fend for yourself? It's a fight. At the end of the day, you got to fend for yourself. That's what I've learned in this sport. The ref's not going to help you. If it gets to the down and dirty trenches, you got to fend for yourself as a man to man. There's money on the line, everything's on the line. You fend for yourself as a man. So how's Kovalev going to react to that? You know, so we don't know a lot of things. We don't know how, again, like I said, how Andre's going to react, even getting clipped and feeling the power, even if it's not clean, and if he's going to doubt himself, or how Sergey's going to react when Andre starts being a bully. Because I think the time will come where he has to do that. I don't think Andre can run around and be tactical the whole time. I just don't see that happening. Because I think Kovalev will have worked on at least cutting the ring down completely and forcing him to fight. So I think we're going to see several adjustments from both guys, and we'll see how they react.
You mentioned he was a robotic type of technical fighter. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Do you think you need to be more creative?
You know, it works for those guys, because in 12 rounds, what they look at it is, you got 12 rounds, stick with this. It will eventually work. Something will eventually give. You know, even if it's not working, it will eventually work. Because with a guy like Kovalev, once you hit, all you need to do is hit once or twice, and all of a sudden the fight changes. But if the fight doesn't end, the fight changes. You know, because now the opponent's like, whoa, his mentality changes, he gets more defensive. So the rugged robotic mentality is stick to it, be disciplined, don't get frustrated, stick, because eventually something will give. It's just too long of a period of time for something not to give at one point or another. And once something gives, it may change the whole fight.
Can they make adjustments like that though, if they're sticking?
You know, I don't know. You know, it's a good question, you know, but you gotta be good. You gotta be good enough to get him there, though. You gotta be good enough to get him there, and being good enough to get him there means you've probably either gotta not get hit or not get hit that much, you know, because you may not be around long enough to force them to adjust. Because, you know, if they put you out, they put you out, you know.
Now, Paulie, you have an underrated jab with your fight game. Ward and Kovalev also have a really good jab. Who wins the jab contest in this?
And I think Andre's jab is a little bit more varied. I think Andre's athletic ability gives him the ability to frustrate Sergey a little bit in dictating that kind of tactics from the outside. And I think Sergey's going to have to, you know, push the envelope a little bit. I think where Sergey's going to have to be successful is cutting the ring down. You know, because I think Andre has a more creative jab. He can switch his jab around more, as per Sergey has that one specific jab. So Andre having that specific jab can you know, use it to set traps. He can bait Sergey's jab out of him and counter him with the right hand. He can do a lot more with his jab. But Sergey's sticking with it, cutting the ring down, eventually, you know, forcing Andre in uncomfortable positions to where, you know, what happens when you're uncomfortable? Sometimes you make mistakes when you're uncomfortable. You know, you force something that you shouldn't be forcing. Yeah, you force something you shouldn't be forcing. I don't like the real estate where I'm going over here, man. You know, I gotta get out of here. I gotta figure something out. You may figure something out that doesn't work. It might play into his hands, you know? So again, you know, I think Sergey has to stay with consistency. Andre has to stick with, making that adjustment and burying it and forcing it and seeing if Kovalev can adjust back to it. Because if Andre makes the proper adjustment, we're going to find out if Kovalev can adjust.
Paulie, as great of a matchup this is, a lot of people feel that maybe Andre had to take it, but do you feel that he had to take this fight, or he chose to take it, obviously, but do you feel that he had to take this fight?
I think Andre probably chose to take this fight because he had to go for something. He had to go for it. He wanted to go for it. He came back after 2-3 years out of the spotlight, with the contract issues, and I felt like, he probably felt like, I gotta go for it. I want to make money and I want to build my name and legacy. There's not a lot of time here. But let's face it, nobody's forced to do anything. Adonis Stevens is not fighting Sergey Kovalev. Nobody's forced him to do anything. So you're not forced to do anything. You can do what you want. You can sit on your money. Andre Ward was gonna make money anyway. Just like Adonis Stevens is making money anyway. So nobody's gonna force you to do this. You gotta be striving for greatness to take on this guy. Let me tell you, man. This is a scary guy to look at sitting down here as I'm listening to the press conference, let alone in the corner with a screaming rabid fans with a bell about to ring that I gotta meet him in the center in like 3 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So it's a scary proposition. You gotta be wanting to go for that kind of greatness. Nobody's gonna force you to do that. You gotta want that in order to do this.
Is the winner number 1 pound for pound?
Yes, absolutely.
What if Floyd Mayweather comes back? Is he still pound for pound?
He's like, Floyd is like pound for pound in recess. You know what I mean? You can't take it away from him. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, he's like, it's like, how can I put it? Because he can't really touch it at that point with Floyd.
Floyd for pound and then pound.
Yeah. It's something like that. Because
they already have him as the best of the era already, Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah,
right?
but it is his era. But at the end of the day, it's almost moving into a different era. It's like Floyd hasn't fought in what, a year and change. A year now it's his retirement. So you're starting to look for the new names to come out and present themselves. I think this is a very risky fight. I think it's a very risky fight for both guys. I think this fight is riskier for both guys than I would say the Pacquiao fight would be for Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, yeah, Floyd had a year off. Yeah, Floyd has, he's had the layoff and he's aging. So yeah, it's risky because of nature. I think nature poses more of a threat to Floyd Mayweather than Pacquiao does at this point. I think this fight though, the threat is each other.
Hi, my name is Kennedy, and you're watching Dante Boxing Nation.